Military Insight, I am joined by General Wes Clark, former Supreme Allied Commander in Europe, head of all NATO forces. General Clark, it is great to have you here. I want to start with Trump's countdown tonight. If the U.S. actually follows through on striking Iran's power grid, is this an enormous escalation in your eyes? And what does night one of that operation look like?
It would be an enormous escalation. And if Iran can retaliate, and they do go after the desalination plants and the power plants in the Gulf states, it's going to be a humanitarian catastrophe there also.
Walk us through what the opening hours would look like. Are we talking cruise missiles from submarines, carrier strike groups, stealth aircraft like the F-35? And what is the role of cyber warfare? I mean, could the U.S. cripple power plants without dropping bombs?
We could cripple some power plants without dropping bombs. But I think you'd see instead that this would be B-52s and B-2s. We have air superiority and over some places air supremacy. So we can get our aircraft in over there. We can pinpoint targets. We can destroy these power plants. Uh, Maybe there's a military connection to this, maybe military necessity. A lot of people will say it's a war crime because mostly these power plants are probably there for the civilian population. And so it'll be certainly a questionable call and if we do this. But then the retaliation, if Iran can retaliate, and thus far they have shown every ability to retaliate, then there's more hardship imposed on our friends and allies in the region, in the Gulf. And this doesn't still open the Straits of Hormuz, and that's the problem.
General, would you see it as a war crime?
I think you got to look at it under military law, and it's one of those things that's questionable. People are going to argue both cases, but you cannot destroy civilian assets in an effort to put harm on the population. Now, if you can show it has a military connection, that's different. But if it's simply to put pressure on the government by harming the civilian population, then that's de jure. That's a war crime.
The Treasury Secretary is saying the administration's logic is that we have to escalate to de-escalate. In your experience, does hitting a country's essential power grid force them to the table, or does it make them more desperate, more reckless?
When I was NATO commander and we were going against Slobodan Milosevic, we were going against a rational person. He was a communist. He was a lawyer. He was a high IQ guy. He spoke English. He'd lived in New York for a year or two. I'd spent about 100 hours with him. I knew my enemy, my adversary. In this case, the people we're going against are not Western oriented. They haven't lived in New York. We don't know them. And we've knocked off the ones that we do know. So we've got some faceless people here in the IRGC who are no doubt hardline zealots. They've still got command and control. They've still got the ability to retaliate and issue statements. So I think we just have to be careful and not think that they think like we do. They may not. These may be what Secretary Rumsfeld used to call dead enders. They simply have wanted a war with the United States for a long time. They've got it. And they may think they're winning because when they see President Trump releasing sanctions on the Iranian oil, they may view that as a weakness. When they read the newspapers in the United States, which they surely do, and listen to the news, and they see the political sparring back and forth in Washington and the problems with allies and so forth, they may think the United States is about to crack. So we don't know everything about this adversary. So we're not quite able to predict what he's going to do. But thus far, he's putting up a strong front against us.
General, oil prices, meanwhile, have spiked since the conflict began. Iran knows the Strait of Hormuz is their greatest leverage against the American wallet. If this deadline passes and we strike their power plants, are we guaranteeing gas prices stay at record highs for the foreseeable future for people at home?
Well, we don't know what the response is going to be in the Strait of Hormuz. But I don't think that the issue should be what gas prices are in the United States. We do have plenty of natural gas. We got plenty of petroleum in this country. And furthermore, it's a terrible way to run a war by thinking that all you have to do is control gas prices in the United States. This is a major war that the United States has embarked on, a major war. And after it's over, if the Iranian regime is not displaced, it will become a nuclear power. And it does have some military surprises, like that strike on Diego Garcia. Yes, it was intercepted, but we didn't think they could shoot a missile 2,400 miles, and yet apparently they can.
Yeah, what
So
are
we
the
don't know
implications of
everything
that,
about
General? I mean, how are you now looking at that map redrawn of Europe in terms of that range and capability of Iran's striking distance? We're pulling it up now.
Yeah. Well, the way I'm looking at it is we've got great intelligence. We've done a lot of great work, supposedly and reportedly, with our air campaign. We've hit thousands of targets. Admiral Cooper showed how we'd taken out one of the critical nodes in their defense of the Strait of Hormuz yesterday. We put a big bunker buster right on top of it, and it was a tunnel, and apparently we took it out. But we don't know what we don't know in this case. This is a country that's prepared for 47 years of conflict. So we're early in this. We're only starting the fourth week. We can't panic. We can't be driven by gas prices and threats in the United States, but we clearly can't tolerate the Strait of Hormuz being closed indefinitely. So we're going to have a plan to get that strait open. Maybe the threat will work. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to fall back on other measures, and that probably means some ground troops.
Wow. General Wes Clark, thank you so much, as always, for the analysis and time.
Yeah, thank you, Natasha.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.